In this video, I am going to make one small project and I will try to explain if you have multiple microservices, how we can communicate to each other, how one microservice can connect with the microservice and get the data. So if you see here, I have the one student report to microservice and I have one hoster microservice. So if this hoster microservice want to get the data or want some business logic execution from the this one from MS1 means the microservice one, how they will establish the communication and how to integrate each other. So this is the one kind of the school software, and they have applied the microservice design pattern and they have the many microservices. So if you want to communicate between the microservices, we have the many way. Either you can call the REST API or you can establish the messaging queue through the SQS, SNS, MQ. There are many ways to that. Or you can make one common database and then all the communicate to each other. That might be not the good design pattern, but many people do that. So in this video, I will explain you with the help of the REST API how we can communicate one microservice to other microservice. So what I have done already in my previous video, I have made one Spring Boot end-to-end project, and that name is the student report. So that is already running, and if you want to do that, how we can do? So you go to the YouTube and search Spring Boot Binod Suman, and here you can see this Spring Boot framework, right? Here I have explained how to create the one complete student report kind of the microservice with the help of Spring Boot. So that is running up and running, and I am going to make one hoster microservice and we will try to communicate, right? So if you go here, this is my student report project that is already working. I will show you. So we have the REST API and we have exposed the REST API with the controller, then we have service layer, DAO layer, and then connect to the MySQL database, right? And this REST API can be called by anyone, right? Postman, web portal, and mobile. And this one I am going to make it, that is the hoster project, hoster boot, and then I will try to call from this microservice to this microservice. Okay, so let us start. So, and all the magic could be done by the REST template, so that is provided by the Spring, by which we can communicate. Okay, so what you have to do, come here, or before that you go use the Spring initializer to make the project, right? Use the Spring initializer in Maven project Java. I will take for Java 8 and I will give the group name Binod Suman, and here I will give the name hoster boot project, or anything you can give that, right? And you have to just add the wave, because I need only wave for communication to make it easy, and click on the generate button. It will import one project here, right? That I will show you. And in one here I want to say this existing one is already working on the port number 8081, and this will work on the 8082 that I will show you. So this code has been already downloaded in the download folder. Here if you see the hoster project, use unzip it. So once you unzip hoster boot project, and you have to in Eclipse you have to import, right? So this is the project. Spring Boot project is already running. Let me first show that it is working or not, then I will import that project. So this is Spring Boot project, it is running, and if you see it is running 8081, right? And let me open the one here, Postman. I have opened the two Postman, so let me one here 8081. If you see here, if you make send all, it will give all the student name, right? And the same student name I have in database also. So if you see the same name I have in the database, 1110 Binod Suman Bango, it is fetching from database, right? So this is already there and we have to use that, right? So now what I have to do, that go to the Eclipse and import new project, import, wait to make it up, import and import as a Maven project, and give the path for the hoster project. It is on the download, right? And hoster project, open it. Okay. You see that we have hoster project is came here, right? I'm not going to talk this project already, that is already working up and running. Here first come and go to the resource, because if you see here the existing project, that is in application properties I have given, that is working on the 8081, right? In this new project application properties, make the 8082, so then we can differentiate, right? And of course we need the one controller, as we know in the previous video. So come here, make one class, that name is the hoster controller, and make one package also, controller, right? And finish it. So this hoster is connected, is there, and I have to fetch the student information, because if you see the postman, we have the student informations. So I have to make one entity of the student, so it will be easy to fetch the data and show in here, right? And both student I will keep the same. So give the here entity package and give name student. And if you see here in the Miss student report, I have taken the 3 field, right? So this is entity class, because this data is goes to the database, but for this the new project no need to do entity. I will only take these 3 column, role, name, city. Okay, so just private int role, name, city. Okay, make one default constructor that is required by Eclipse, right? And make one parameterized constructor where all the field will be there, right click, source, and the constructor using the field, right? We got it. Then go for the setter getter, again go the source, and here is the setter getter. I want all the setter getter, and make the 2 string also, that might be required, so go there and 2 string. So I make the controller, I make the here, right? So now what we have to do, that in the controller we have to first and foremost, I need one REST template. So REST template we need, import it, REST template. Then how I can get the REST template? So I need to create the bin. So I will create the bin, and I need REST template, get REST template, right? And here we can create the new REST template. That's it. Now this will create the bin, so now I can use the auto wiring here, right? So what is the auto wire and all those things you can watch in my previous Spring video, you will get out of know. Now I need the IP, the URL from the microservice second, from where I have to hit and get the data. So final string, I will give student URL, which URL, microservice URL. So which it is working 8081, right? So we have to take the 8081. I will be hitting this one, right? So 8081, that's it. Now if you see the student report controller, we have many options, right? So here if you see, we can search a student, or you can take from here, we can do the all, it will give all the student, right? Then all, and the raw number, it will give the particular one. So we call all those things, right? So what you have to do in hoster controller, come to the hoster controller and make one method who will fetch all the student, or first try for the one student, right? So public, but for the one student, what would be the IP address here? Come here, if I want to 1110, so raw 1110, right? So it will give the one student, it is one student. So I need this URL, I have to hit, right? So keep somewhere, I need this URL. Okay, so public string fetch student and give the init raw number, right? And of course this is a controller, so how you will call this? For that I need the get mapping or the request mapping. So shortcut get mapping you take, and here I will give the something different. So I will see, okay, find, and then raw number. And you know, if you want this raw number to here, what you have to do? You have to use the path variable. Okay, done. So now what happened here? Now we have to invoke this URL, right? So this URL is up to here is okay. After that I have to add one, right? So for that, what you have to do? You have to use the REST template, and we have one method for the REST template that is called the exchange, and you have to pass the URL. So this URL you have to pass, and around it is up to here it is there, right? So this part we have to add, right? So this part, so what you have to do here, you make the plus sign and add the all, then this one, and then this raw number, which raw number you want, right? And what is the response type here? Response type is the, which method is there? That is the get method, right? If you see in the student controller, if you see the all, this is the get method. Request mapping by default is the get method. So we have to give the http method dot get. I am not passing anything now, and I am expecting student dot class. So what it will return? It will return the student, right? But I need this kind of output. I don't want the student output. I need this JSON output, right? And for that, what you have to do? Okay, first fetch the student. Let me show you something. Okay, and I will just try to show which student we fetch, right? Student from student report project, just for, but actually I do not need the student, I need this JSON output, right? So I will say just copy paste here, same thing, and I need the body part. So you go and say get body, and you return this one. Okay, so you have to make the get body, then the student. So in this case you are taking the string, in this case you are taking the student, right? Now, so this is the find. Now we want to do the method we can fetch all the students. So again, public student fetch students, all the students, right? We want to fetch all the students, right? And when you fetch all the student, we can do the exchange. Here you can use the exchange, or we have some other option also there that we will see the later. So what you have to do here, RestTemplate dot exchange, and to fetch all the student, you no need to raw number, right? So we can just copy this part. So we do not even need this one, right? And the response time type is the same. This is the get method. So give the get method, right? And then I am not passing anything, and here I have the student, return the string class and the get body. This is the get body, that's it, and just return it. Okay, and how you will invoke this one? So to invoke this one, we should have the get mapping, right? So I will do get mapping, and I will do just find, or give the name okay, just find. We see that you have to give this way here, right? One of the important things we have forgot, we have to make the waste controller, otherwise it will not invoke, right? So we need the waste controller, and then we have to run it again, right? So try to run it again. It will work on 8082, right? Now come here. So this is the already existing one. If you checking the find 1110, it is working. Now here we have to find the 1110, right? From, and you see that here it is also working, right? And you, if you go the console, you might have see the one output, that what we have given here. If you see here, this you can also, this message is also coming. So if you want to return the student in that, you can return the student also, and if you want just the object, just the message JSON, you can do the JSON. Both I have explained you. Now let me try with the find, if the find is working or not. So go here, this is the 8082, and just do the find. Here find working, everything is working fine, right? The same information is here. Just I want to try to add one more thing, that if you want to add the student from hostel control, how you can do that. So what you have to do, say public string add student, and I will give the student, and we can call the rest, and also we can do the RestTemplate here. This is the post, you have to do the post for object, and you have to pass the URL, right? So for add, you have to add, right? So what you have to do, you have to do the same thing, and in the student it is the add, so we have to add, and then what you are sending the student, and that is the returning is the string dot class, right? That's it, it will work. So now what we have to do here, we have to do the post mapping, right? So we have to do the post mapping, and you can give anything, add student, right? But how the student will come here, you know, we know the concept of the request body, right? So you use the request body, okay, and we have to return here, okay. And I was saying that instead of the exchange, we have some other way to also face these things. It's not only the, you can do the You can do for object also. So let me show you. Here is the, take the same example. So instead of that, we can do the return student and give the same URL there, right? And that's it. So instead of the exchange and passing all those things, you can do the same thing here. Let me test this part, add part, right? Again, I will close this, the I will close, stop the hoster boot application, and again I will run that. And see whether we can add the student or not. Or first check whether the old one is working or not. 8082 find is working. Yes, perfectly working. And I want to check the anyone 141. So this is the 141 working or not. This is the working 141. Now I want to add. So suppose I want to add one guy's Bill Gates, right? And he's from the USA. So what you have to do, you have to use the post method, and you go what method name I have given here in my controller. I have given the add student. Use the add student here. Go the body and go the raw JSON, right? And if you see in database we have this data or not, 2270 is not there. So now post method hit and see what message is coming. New student has been added. Let me check this is added or not. Yes, this is added. So how it is added, you might be knowing, right? So it came from here, take the student information, and here then go to the service here, door here, and put the database, right? Everything. So this is the way through the REST template you can communicate between the two microservices and make the establish the connection each other, right? Thank you very much. Please be kind and subscribe the channel.